time for the Death Battle cast. Let's go. It's time to get people moving. It's time to get into this epic episode we got today. We got a lot going on. We are talking about Shadow and Mewtwo. So it's going to be a good one, and we've got something else that we have to show off later on. A little sneak peek into the depths of our upcoming episode, Bowser versus Eggman. But as always, hey, I'm Ben. I'm joined by Chad. And we've got some amazing researchers with us. We got Jacob, we got Kian, and then surprise, fifth member,
Nick.
as many of you have mentioned on in the chat leading up to it, as you were wondering what our special surprise was. Keanu Reeves has joined us. Wait, no, sorry, it's Nervous Nick.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Funny story.
The whole chat is just Nick right now.
Nick is here.
Fan favorites.
Hey, thank you so much, guys. It's so good to see you guys. Even if most of you guys right now are usernames in a chat, still really good to see you. It's always good to be back.
Familiar usernames in the chat.
Really good to read.
Can't get rid of me.
We would never want to get rid of you.
Yeah, well, no matter how hard we try, we would never want to get rid of you.
Yeah.
Well, hey, for those of you who don't know, Nick was a longtime member of the team, edited for Death Battle as well as a bunch of other stuff, as being on camera and whatnot.
Project
so actually,
lead and writer,
Nick, you were
researcher.
Yeah, back in the day when Death Battle was like very young, you were the first like person other than me to like take on an episode and direct and edit and like write.
Yeah,
so
that was a lot of work.
Legacy.
Yeah.
It was, like ADHD brain already being what it is. How like I want to say the most amount of simultaneous tabs I had open just trying to research a character was like 145.
Oh my gosh.
Or so. Like it slowed my computer down so much, but I was afraid to close any of the tabs because like any of it could be like valuable information. There'd be like no other way for me to retrace my steps to figure out how I got to a certain conclusion. Whatever. So I just had to have that open while I'm writing and researching these episodes.
I will say, what also slowed your computer down, Nick, was that you had like 600 icons on your desktop. Do you remember the day I got a hold of that?
Yeah,
that's right.
And I was
that
was
the day I learned.
Corner of his MacBook.
I learned that day.
It was just like a blur. You couldn't tell. It was just a layer upon layer because the desktop. I was like, "Have you been saving everything to your desktop?"
Well, hold on. You said on a MacBook
or whatever it was. Yeah.
Because when I was researching Death Battle, we had switched to Windows PCs at that point.
Then it was Windows, whatever it was. So it was in the upper right corner.
Yeah, I mean,
either way.
Excuse it, whatever. Yeah, I bet that's the day that I learned that close your computer down.
Yeah, kind of important, kind of good lesson. Just a heads up, anybody out there is listening to this and has a lot of stuff saved to their desktop. Don't do that.
Just keep your desktop clean.
Already
throw all that stuff into some other folder somewhere else. You can be just as unorganized, but it will keep your computer running a little bit better than what if it's on your desktop.
We got some super chats, by the way, Nick. Sante Sharm says, "It's Nick. Love that guy." And Gelatin Man says, "I miss top 10. Love you, Nick."
Oh, love you guys too.
Gilda Data, are you still nervous or did you evolve to anxiety, Nick?
Unironically, yes.
In today's landscape, probably that one.
Sometimes. No, not when I'm with you guys. No, this is always a good day when I'm with this crowd here.
We're gonna have fun.
Speaking of evolution.
Nice.
We have a battle to get to as we talk about the ultimate life form, secretly designed in a lab by an evil genius, maybe not so evil genius, who was making it with government funding to create a super weapon for the government, while also secretly trying to cure or revive a young doomed girl. I'm not really sure which one I'm supposed to say after that because they both fit. Mewtwo and Shadow. So this is, as many of you I'm sure know, this was an episode that we made years and years and years ago in the season 1 era of, or no, which I forget actually which season. It was season 3. Yeah. In the season 3 era of Death Battle, when we were first starting to build up the team. So like 10 years ago or so. It's been a while since we made this episode, and it was one of the matchups on the docket for a rematch, a possible rematch, which was largely thanks to the interest that you guys showed. So when we were doing the Kickstarter, we said, hey, at a certain point, backers will be able to vote for a rematch. We have 3 in mind that will be in the poll, but if you guys have any ideas that you want to see, let us know. And we saw a lot of people clamoring for this one. So we definitely want to explore this as a possible rematch episode in the future. But generally speaking, we are also interested in exploring it. Hence why we are doing this Death Battle cast. If you haven't heard, the winner of that vote was by a significant landslide, to be frank, Master Chief versus Doom Guy, and that will be an episode that we will be doing in the future. Which that was a season 1 episode. That is one that we absolutely probably have needed to re-examine for a long time. So I'm very happy to be doing that. Kian, you were saying something?
Yeah, I was gonna say Jacob and I, because we're the 2 who are debating today. We actually rewatched Mewtwo vs. Shadow yesterday in call, just like get a feel for what we like want to talk about, and like you really see like, damn, like we have changed so much. Like, well, like, just as like an example. Yeah, well, like just as an example, like there are calculations in that episode, but then they like aren't even relevant and brought up in the verdict at all. Well, now it's like pretty much every single thing that we talk about, like it's all Chekhov's gun.
I don't know about you. I thought the research was done fantastically in that episode. It was awesome because Mewtwo won in the end. That's all that really matters.
Yes, and so
I wonder who's repping who.
Yeah. If you are new to Death Battle Cast, here's how this is gonna work. Kian is going to be representing Shadow the Hedgehog. Jacob will be representing Mewtwo the Mewtwo. And it is their job to convince us, as in you all watching this live, who should win a death battle. And at the end of the show, you watching this live, we do this live at noon every Tuesday, will be able to vote on who should win. And then that will determine the winner. So let's go ahead and jump into this and get this started. How about we start with, well, since somebody sounds really confident, how about we start with Jacob and Mewtwo?
Hi.
So 60 seconds on the clock. Talk to us about Mewtwo.
All right. So Mewtwo, I'm just going to start off right now. An RPG character. So you already know that he has boundless abilities in his arsenal. And I looked through every single move of Mewtwo's upcoming for this class. There's a bunch of absolute nonsense. But beyond that, he's got the stats to contend with even Super Shadow. And he has a bunch of abilities that can directly counter the Chaos Emeralds as a whole, preventing Shadow's biggest win cons for this fight. Beyond that, he would know how to use his win cons because he is A, smarter, 2, can see the future through the use of the move Future Sight, which has been used in Pokemon Canon to look into the future. There's also a bunch of psychic Pokemon who can naturally look into the future. And of course, just reading his mind. Beyond all that, though, he just has all the stats he needs to manage Shadow at his best. And how many more seconds do I have?
13. It's okay.
13. He is really strong.
The end.
I can fill in the last. I can fill in the
really
last.
fast.
Mm-hmm.
According to Stephen A. Smith, he would probably beat LeBron in a game to 21.
This is true. Also, that's why
true.
he should win.
That's
like if you think
his
about
biggest feat.
If you think about it, Mewtwo is 6 foot. Shadow is like 3 foot. He's got nothing on the field.
I literally just started typing Mewtwo versus, and then Mewtwo versus LeBron was one of the first things, and I was like, "What is this?"
Yeah.
That
That was making the rounds for a while. Probably
yeah, it was.
still
I
is.
forgot about that. Yep.
We got
All right.
Got to be again.
Captain Lobsterminator, which is an incredible name. Thank you, Captain. And then Chaos Nightmare also. It says, "Is that the KI World Champion and best Sea of Thieves streamer on Twitch?" Nervous Nick? Sure is.
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
All right. Well, if Mewtwo may have the height advantage, but somebody's bringing in some rocket shoes to this fight, right? Kia, let's talk about Shadow.
All right, Jacob, I did prepare it. All right, guys, we're gonna run it back.
Oh God!
So, Shadow the Hedgehog is the ultimate life form, a hedgehog black arms hybrid endowed with the power of chaos control, giving him 3 sets of powers to pull from. He has all the abilities innate to hedgehogs in the series, like super speed, homing attacks, tornadoes. He can keep up with, and in some cases even go faster than Sonic the Hedgehog, the fastest thing alive, who can run faster than light speed. And thanks to his latest outing, he now has all of the brand new Doom powers to give him all sorts of mobility options wherever the fight takes place, ensuring that he can keep on the move and avoid Mewtwo's attacks. That's only further pushed along by his Chaos powers, including Chaos Control, which can let him teleport and stop time, which is not only going to make it impossible for Mewtwo to even touch him in the first place, but is going to leave the genetic Pokemon wide open for a powerful attack like Chaos Blast to finish him off. He's got the super forms, he's got his hero form, his dark form, and also he has a gun. He's
There you go.
And now the timer was covering it. Let's see that shirt again.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. All right.
Are we deep into internet jokes here?
I think so. I think so. I mean, we were already talking about freaking LeBron.
I thought that was a real shirt.
Yes, so did I.
I was like, what? You just blew Nick and I's mind like a sorcerer. Like, I mean, like, he's just
Like one of the Looney Tunes just happened.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
I
it was
love it.
taped
No,
on. It was taped on.
I respect the bits, Kian, but I also have to question why.
Because it's funny, because I saw people making the joke in chat before we started, and I knew I had to do it for the people.
Well, I saw Jacob rubbing his hands together as you were mentioning some things about what shadows bring to the table. So I'm very
Trap
curious to
cards,
see.
his key and
Where
Yeah.
this is gonna lead us. So let's go ahead and
the glasses. I saw that.
So,
I saw
I'm
that.
so ready.
all right. Well,
Yeah.
well, let's talk
All right.
about it. Let's start getting into this. So, what is
All right.
Mewtwo really going to do? Like,
Well,
what do you
I
think really sells a Mewtwo victory here?
Well, I mentioned before that he can contend with, even Super Shadow, and this is mainly because there's a bunch of Mewtwo across the whole Pokemon series that can keep up with like Pokemon like Dialga and Palkia, who are known for creating an infinite multiverse across the
Are we
timeline.
already jumping?
Yeah,
to
we're
the
already doing
infinite
it.
multiverse.
I'm
I
doing
feel
it.
like this is gonna be a
like
lot of what this
15
is.
minutes
already,
in.
so.
Yeah,
And the
and
multiverse is open.
Come on, dude. We're supposed
This
to
is
like
very-
ramp up to this stuff. Come on.
I know.
Don't you know
screw
pacing?
that. We're going hard right now with it. But yeah,
We're talking about ultimate life forms here. Let's get to the ultimate
yeah.
stuff. Let's go.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
So
All right, keep going. Keep going.
basically there's just a bunch of credits for like Mewtwo scaling to like those legendary Pokemon that create an infinite wide multiverse, and Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. It's like the ace of Giovanni from Team Rainbow Rocket, and in that team there's Cyrus, who has Dialga or Palkia. Also in those same games, they battle the protagonist who can fight a Dialga and Palkia from the Ultra Wormholes and Ultra Space. A whole bunch of legendary Pokemon in the Hoopa movie also battle against each other, and Mewtwo has contended with a few of them across the media. And when it comes to speed, not only is Mewtwo battling against legendary Pokemon who can cross the universe, like Deoxys, who in the manga traveled from the edge of the universe to Earth within I think it was 10 days. But he's also he's battled Zygarde, who then battled Necrozma, and Necrozma lit up an infinitely wide void with its light. So that's just credits for infinite speed there.
But Jacob,
Yeah.
Curlboy in chat has a really good question.
Mhm.
Can Mewtwo counter a gun?
No.
Well, I concede.
No. No.
Like,
The move counter gun would be counted
No.
as physical.
No.
Doesn't counter still take the damage?
Yes, but then he
Just
deals back
reflects
double
it?
the damage.
Yeah. So double gun.
no double gun.
Dodge you double gun.
Oh
I
my
think
god.
it's does he learn, is it mirror shot? There's some special attack equivalent to
He
counter,
does
isn't
not
there?
learn Mirror Coat, but there are a bunch of
Mirror Coat, that's what I was
projectile.
thinking of.
There's a bunch of projectile Pokemon moves like Razor Leaf that are like physical in
Yeah.
nature. And a
Also,
gun
like
would
if you want
definitely-
to also if you want to go like into extra media, like in Smash, like was it like Confusion or something? Like the side special was a
Oh yeah, he could just take
Yeah,
control
the reflector,
projectiles if
yeah.
he really wants to with like psychic and
Yeah.
confusion.
Smash
Anyway,
Brothers
what
is
you
kind of
saying, right?
iffy though.
Yeah.
It's because like there are creative liberties taken for all the ways that
yeah.
the team in the design team, everybody tries to get like really accurate with the characters. There are absolutely creative liberties taken with like the way those characters are portrayed. But
Doesn't Ash throw something at him in the movie? And he
tries to
catches
punch
it
him.
kinetically? Oh, that's
Yeah, he throws
He
himself
tries to
at him.
punch him and then he gets
throws
launched.
hands.
No diff.
freaking deck him. Okay. Yeah, but he then telekinetically throws around. I'm sure he can just catch
Ballsiest
bullets. No
10-year-old.
problem.
Yeah, we got a few Cameron and Loogie in the chat. They're both talking about the but versus Spoon. But like
That is
Shadow's
also
got to duel
true.
with the
Oh,
Spoon.
spoon.
I apologize. I did not
versus
bring up the
spoon,
goated
I
spoon.
see
So-
in the chat.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing.
It'll-
Here's the thing. Shadow may have a gun, but Mewtwo has a big ass spoon.
It can also turn
So-
into a fork.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
damn.
Shape-shifting
So he's-
spoon.
He's got a
Well,
fork.
Shadow-
The
He's so
second most
screwed.
deadly cutlery available.
All right. How's Shadow going to
Speak-
handle this giant spoon?
Well, Shadow also has a sword, which is kind of like a knife, which I assume is what Chad believes is the deadliest cutlery. What you
Well, it
gonna do,
depends.
Jacob? What you
I
gonna
mean,
do?
There we go.
Is, like,
That's the,
is it,
that's
is
it.
a, tri-
just
is
that
a
easy.
trident?
It's
Is a
just that
trident
easy.
more or less deadly than a sword? Depends on who's wielding it, I think. Same kind of
Probably.
principle, I
Yeah.
assume.
Technically, try to catch a sword and break it, right? Like that.
Yeah.
It's got the little prongs, like the sai.
Mhm.
So I don't know.
Also,
I don't know.
Yeah. To get back to the high ends, because Jacob wanted to rush to that. If you're counting stuff like Rainbow Rocket, which is always like a little contentious because it's like it is Mewtwo, but it's like a very like kind of like a different version of a Mewtwo that we don't typically see at that power. Like so people have like their opinions on it. But I think if you're giving him that leeway, you probably like want to do something similar for Shadow and be like, well, he's fought Solaris, which has like similar kind of like multiverse spreading, like affecting like the entire time stream at once kind of stuff.
Mhm.
And then like he didn't fight the Time Eater, but Sonic did, a Supersonic. Again, similar abilities of like, you know, voiding time from objects. So if you're going off of like those metrics, then like they're probably like not that far off from each other.
Okay.
Oh, he's making his pose. He's making that pose. It's the Jukum picture.
So I can't help but notice that this is all related to Super Shadow. Am I correct?
Yeah,
I
this
mean,
is
if
related
we're-
to Super Shadow.
If we're jumping right to like the universal stuff, it makes sense to jump into Super Shadow.
Oh,
Uh,
of course. I
who-
just figured.
Oh, you got a counter. You got right. You had mentioned
got
that there's something that
several.
can kind of counter the chaos
Several.
power. So
I
before
have
we jump into
several
that,
counters.
two things. One, Jonathan Frostathan, wonderful. You guys have amazing names in the chat. Love that reference to the All of Me song. That's great. That's a good one. So. But before we get into the anti-chaos stuff, I do want to talk about Mewtwo may be one of the most uncommon Pokemon out there, right? Kind of like our first sponsor for this week's episode, Uncommon Goods. Hey, trying to make these segues work today. So yes, the show is sponsored by Uncommon Goods. Spark something uncommon this holiday with just the right gift from Uncommon Goods. The busy holiday season is here, and Uncommon Goods makes it less stressful with incredible hand-picked gifts for everyone on your list, all in one spot. Gifts that hit the "it's exactly what I wanted" feeling we all hope our friends and loved ones will have when they see what you got them, rather than the "I might end up returning" this sort of side glance that you all know what I'm talking about. Uncommon Goods scours the globe for original, handmade, and absolutely remarkable things. They have the perfect gift for every person you know, and their goal is to have the most meaningful and out-of-the-ordinary gifts that you can find, hence the name. And you can definitely find something unique, absolutely, if you check out their website. As for me, I showed these off last week, but I'm going to show them off again because I really love them. What I got off Uncommon Goods is a... This is so silly. I love these. A cocktail book called Drinking with Wizards and Warriors and Dragons, and Cooking with Wizards, Warriors and Dragons, which are books that have recipes and mixes based on like fantasy and medieval stories and shows and whatnot, like Game of Thrones and Lord of the Rings. There's a bunch of stuff from that.
I got
they're
Ghost
amazing.
Rocks.
And Chad got Ghost Rocks. Wait, what are
They're
Ghost
cool.
Rocks?
They're rocks.
A rock
with
that's
ghost
dead, man.
faces on them, and they're really adorable. And you can put them in. We put them in our yard right in front. It was a great little addition to our Halloween decor.
Oh, I love that. I love that. So they're not ghosts. They're not rocks that are dead.
Who's to say if they had souls trapped inside of them? That would be on the manufacturer. And by manufacturer, I mean small businesses, because don't they support those?
Yes. In fact, when you shop at Uncommon Goods, you're supporting artists and small independent businesses, which means many of the things available are handcrafted like presumably the ghost rocks, and made in small batches. So you can really check them out now rather than wait and miss out on the perfect gift. And with every purchase, they give back to a nonprofit partner of your choice. They've donated more than $3 million to date. So to get 15% off your next gift, go to uncommongoods.com/DBC. That's uncommongoods.com/DBC for 15% off. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Uncommon Goods, we're all out of ordinary. And thank you to Uncommon Goods for sponsoring this show. For those of you unaware, when we get a sponsor on Death Battle Cast, that also helps like the Death Battle channel overall. And a lot of these sponsors are coming to help us out because you guys helped us out with the Kickstarter. They're seeing that there is a lot of interest in the show and are excited to support it just like you guys are. So go ahead and click that link below to check them out and, you know, share the love, right? Share the support. It's amazing to see this. Where we've come in only a few months. It's fantastic. And then a lot of that is thanks to you guys watching this right now.
Yeah, and one thing Oncoming Goods never talks about in their reads is like they have a massive range in terms of prices. Like you can get some interesting stuff for like as cheap as like a couple bucks, you know, and then all the way up to like, you know, crazy big expensive stuff. But yeah.
So Donkey Long in chat mentions even if Shadow is stronger and faster, Mewtwo can use moves like Guard Swap and Power Swap to steal Shadow's stat advantages. I do think a big thing about this is going to be the hacks that can alter like how the stats and whatnot are mixed around. And so that may be something you're leading to, Jacob, in terms of being able to cancel out the chaos powers.
Come on, Jacob.
Yes.
Come on,
And
Jacob.
also, can
Yeah.
Shadow be converted into Pokemon stats? Is that something that either you guys have thought
Maybe
about?
we'll touch on that. But first, go ahead about the chaos stuff.
Oh, I was going to mention real quick how I basically a small quick rundown. I usually see it as like if Shadow had like dark attacks that could be classified as dark, it would be good against Mewtwo, but that Shadow doesn't have like Pokemon resistances and that. Yes, but yeah, for what Mewtwo has in store for canceling out like Super Shadow and the Chaos powers, there are several showcases in Sonic games where your super form doesn't have too much time because it has to run on a consistent energy source from rings. This is like directly mentioned in like Rush, for example, from Sonic and Blaze, where they have to switch between each other so that they can serve their energy. Mewtwo's natural ability is called Pressure, and Pressure forces the opponent to exert more energy into their attacks for the same effect. So it's not like he grows more powerful, but he's putting in more effort. In Mystery Dungeon, Mewtwo has an item called the Havoc Robe, which does the same thing as Pressure, and it stacks. And then finally, the most interesting one I want to talk about. In Pokken Tournament, Mewtwo has an item called the Shadow Synergy Stone. If you've heard of Shadow Mewtwo, it's basically what turns him into Shadow Mewtwo. In Pokken, the whole plot is revolved around the Shadow Synergy Stone and how it's taking the Gaia energy out of the Farum region that you play in. Gaia energy is the energy of the Earth. In Sonic Unleashed, the Chaos Emeralds get drained of all of their power. And in order to restore them, you have to go to the Gaia temples in order to use the Earth's power to restore them. And in return, the GOAT Professor Pickles mentions this for word. He's like a scholar in that game. Mentions that the Chaos Emerald's power then heals the Earth naturally. So my argument here is that
Professor Pickles?
Yeah, Professor Pickles. He's kind of the GOAT.
Just wanted to.
Yeah.
That's all.
Shout out to Professor Pickles. So
he's really
the
into like
for the
egg
synergy
sandwiches
stone...
or something, isn't it?
Huh? Sorry, what's that?
He's really into egg sandwiches or something, isn't it? I know that he talks about like wanting some kind of food a ton.
Oh yeah, there's like a
That's not
cutscene where he's
Pickles.
kidnapped and he's like, "Oh my god, I can't eat food." And like Eggman was at least nice enough to.
Yeah.
But yeah, another notable thing is that the Gaia power that turns into synergy is trapped in stones, just like the Chaos Emeralds. They're in stones, and Shadow Mewtwo drains them. So my argument is that they are very similar enough, and that Shadow Mewtwo would be able to just drain the Chaos Emeralds entirely, locking out Chaos Control, locking out the super forms, etc.
Well, it doesn't necessarily lock them out. It just means that Shadow's going to have less time, right?
At the very least, he'd be able to. In Unleashed, he had to go to like the Gaia temples to even be able to use them again because Eggman drained them all.
Yeah, but assuming like so he'd go do a super form, but then he'd get drained, and then
especially since. Oh yeah, sorry, I was gonna say especially since with the intro of Unleashed, we do know that the energy of the emeralds can be drained while you're in a super form.
Yeah. What would Mewtwo be able to like pull them out? Because they do like I don't know how exactly it works, but in cutscenes it always looks like it like goes into their bodies. I don't know where it stays, but would Mewtwo be able to like pull that out?
Yeah,
Poke-
so A-Man understands the Chaos Emeralds, right? He has several devices
Yeah.
that use their power. So it's presumably the reason why he's able to drain them is because he knows how to access them while they're in supersonic. Again, referencing the Unleashed
Yeah.
opening. So does it make sense that Mewtwo would be able to A, understand what these Chaos Emeralds are, and B, pull them out of Shadow when Shadow's in super form? And I also will say, pressure is an interesting argument, but it also only exists in his base form. If he goes into any mega form, pressure is removed and replaced by a different ability.
That is
Which he would
true.
have to, he would have to do if he's going to contend with Super Shadow in the first place.
Well, the Rainbow Rocket stuff was in base form, to be fair.
Yeah.
But
Tony Sonic says, actually in Secret Ring, Sonic beat Erazor Jin.
Eraser
Whatever.
Jin.
There's the
Eraser
genie
Jin!
guy.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Who could erase the multiple universes with the Arabian Nights, and he did it with most of his life force drained. So maybe, I mean, with
Wow.
the scaling there.
the scaling. Does he have super form in rings? Or is
It's
it
the
just
like dark
the
spine
dark
or whatever it
spine.
was.
dark
Yeah.
spine?
Yeah, he doesn't
So
go full
cool.
super against Jin.
Yeah.
Okay, but
I
like
Hmm.
so there's a potential that he could take the emeralds and absorb them, but it sounds like he needs to first get access to them in some way. Is he even gonna be able to
Yeah.
catch Shadow? Can't.
Yeah.
It's exactly.
Uh,
Telling Star has the same question in the chat.
Oh.
Let's hear about speed.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
you can go
I
first,
mean,
man.
you know, do you want to go first? Okay.
No,
Well,
no,
I mean,
go
we all
Kia
know.
first.
Okay. I mean, we all know about Sonic the Hedgehog, the fastest thing alive, moves at light speed. He's outrun black holes. I think Solaris, like, depending on like how you want to interpret it, like spreading his stuff like literally like across time, but it is like
Spreading
you
his
say,
stuff
like-
across time. Yep.
Yeah. I don't remember exactly what the power is. But he is like affecting like timelines, and I believe it moves in sort of a like, it's weird to describe, but I believe it moves in kind of like a linear way where it's not like it's affecting all of it at once. Like it is like going like backwards and forwards in the time stream as he's doing it. Like it's spreading out essentially.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then I think like the Wisps had some feat of flying between planets within like seconds at the end of Colors. And you know, Sonic scales to them, especially like the laser, which is like confirmed to be light speed, and like he's caught up with them. So you have that grin on your face. Are you just gonna compare him to Dialga and Palkia?
Oh no, sorry, I was just laughing because you
Yeah.
mentioned, oh, they move between planets. And I'm like, Deoxys move across the universe. You absolute buffoon.
So he is about to
Ooh.
All right. Let's.
No,
Yeah.
but when it comes to Mewtwo speed, there's plenty
Yeah.
of Pokemon attacks that are stated to be light based, like Power Gem. I'm trying to think of Doom Desire. That's Jirachi's.
Isn't Power Gem supposed to be like rocks though?
In the description, it says it's like it gets light from rocks because Pokemon. That's how it works. Solar Beam as well too.
Okay.
I was about to bring up
Um,
Solar Beam. Is that one like truly speed of light,
I'm not sure if that one in
other
particular,
than like the
but,
charge time? But
but there is literally a move called Dazzling Gleam, and that is definitely light based.
Doesn't doesn't Necrozma have something that's pretty blatant?
Yeah, so in the manga, which in this continuity Mewtwo does scale to, he lights up all of Ultra Space, which is an infinitely wide void because it contains an infinite amount of ultra wormholes that lead to multiple different worlds and stuff.
Of course.
All the, yeah, of course, you know, Pokemon. But yeah, it's kind of
Anime.
like this giant space that leads to other worlds through other portals. So infinite speed when it comes to that. So if we want to compare that to like the Solaris stuff, if you wanted to argue it like that, even if
Yeah.
Mewtwo is slower, he has moves that can compensate for speed. He has Trick Room, which makes slower beings move first, and he also has a move called Speed Swap, which literally does exactly what it says.
I was gonna say a
Yeah.
lot of people in the chat were bringing up Trick Room.
Is
But
Speed
how
Swap a
does-
new one?
how do
It's
those moves
infinite.
work? Do they have to like?
They don't change the actual speed stat of the
It does.
characters.
Are
That's
they
not
just
how-
like
Does it?
instantaneous?
I thought
Or
it just-
does he have to like
because-
somehow catch Shadow in it? Like how do those
because
moves
it's like speed.
work?
Oh, sorry.
Uh,
Because like speed and priority are different things in Pokemon, and it swaps priority is what I interpreted it as.
So Speed Swap doesn't work like Power and Guard Swap. It does actually swap the stats of the Pokemon. This includes if a Pokemon is like 500 times faster, if it's like the slowest thing on the field.
Yeah,
So
priority is usually attributed to a move that implies, like quick attack, a sense of speed, right? So
Mhm.
while it's a different stat, or it doesn't apply the stat, I think it still sort of relates to speed essentially. The,
Yeah.
the general idea here with like the trick room or those stat swapping moves are that like it just happens, but it does require a turn in game, a moment to do it, and so like, what's stopping if Mewtwo's like, I'm gonna throw up Trick Room to make sure that I'm faster than him? What's stopping Shadow from just blitzing him during that point and just like
Yeah, I mean,
smacking him?
yeah, I
Well,
mean, if
also,
if
a moment
Mewtwo
in
is like
time.
immediately using, oh, you want
Kian,
to go ahead?
Kian.
Okay. If we're assuming that Mewtwo is going to immediately use Trick Room to change the speed, why are we not assuming that when Shadow is faster, he's not just going to stop time entirely?
stop
Would
time
that not
entirely.
be, yeah, with Chaos
Yeah, use
Control?
chaos control to freeze time,
That's
pausing
entire-
Mewtwo. Does Mewtwo have any sort of resistance to time control, to time stopping?
No, but he has his own time stop. In the
He has
Genesect
time stop?
movie. Yeah, in the Genesect movie, he uses it on the Genesect right before they're about to fire. And he does it immediately after he Mega Evolves. And some people try to argue that it's like a sort of speed thing, but it's like there's no other point where he uses this in Mega Mewtwo Y where he would need speed.
It's not like
Is it
Future
not
Sight,
like,
and it's just like a weird depiction of it.
yeah, is it not like
No, there's no
agility and just
confirmation that
like
that's Future Sight.
he's just moving so
Okay,
fast that everything looks like it's slower?
okay, interesting,
No,
interesting.
because
But
normally the Genesect are able to keep up with Mega Mewtwo Y in that movie.
yeah, but okay, for one thing, Mewtwo Y, if I recall correctly, Mewtwo Y's biggest like boost is speed, if I recall correctly. Um, but it sounds like Mewtwo doesn't necessarily have a defense against time stopping, and perhaps Shadow could essentially ring him out in a snap,
I will
like our
say.
sponsor, Marvel Snap.
I'm so ready. I'm so ready. I was so focused I didn't get the ad set away.
This episode of the podcast sponsored by Marvel Snap. Marvel Snap is an award-winning collectible card game. Hang on, I have it on my phone. It's really good. I'm gonna pull it up so you can see it. It's an award-winning collectible card game that combines deep strategy, fast-paced card dueling, and your favorite Marvel characters, as the title implies, and also thousands of unique art variants created by renowned artists. Marvel Snap has partnered with over 300 incredible artists to create all new unique card art for the game. There's over 2,000 unique card art variants to collect. And as for gameplay, it's a card game that has a lot of depth to it. Personally, I was kind of worried getting into it that I was like gonna have to like learn a bunch of stuff and it would take me forever to actually like get into the game. No, it's not like that
No,
at
it'll
all. It
get
gets
you.
you in. It gets you in right away. And it's one of those things that are easy to learn, hard to master, right? Because there's a lot of different ways you can build different decks with different strategies and whatnot. But it's also really intuitive how the gameplay actually works. You can get into it right away. And actually, I'm really impressed. The game does a really good job at introducing you to the mechanics. I have been playing with two decks that I really enjoy. Here's the game, by the way. It's just at the home screen. I've been playing with two decks that I really enjoy. One using Squirrel Girl and a bunch of like low power cards that like get their powers boosted by other cards. It's really fun. And then another that has Devil Dinosaur. Devil Dinosaur of all characters is in this, and he's just really powerful and really awesome. And I just drop him in a single spot, and he just wins the game for me. It's wonderful. Sometimes, there's definitely a lot of different strategies that you can do, and it's really fun building a deck and seeing it actually come together. So download the Marvel Snap app, now available on the App Store, Google Play, and Steam, and visit marvelsnap.com to learn more. Should be a link down below, the like button, for you to click if you want to check out the game. It's really fun. It's legitimately really fun. So go check it out, guys.
Go click the link for sure. Marvel stepped up big time for us here at Death Battle, so we appreciate them so much.
Thank you, Marvel Snap. All
So
right,
biased.
Yeah, there we go. Marvel's bought us out for the rest of the time. No. Okay, so let's get to the sort of like final crux of the argument, because we also got to get to the sneak peek, right? We got a sneak peek for Eggman versus Bowser coming up very soon. So let's start getting to the crux of our argument and really start locking this down. Shadow versus Mewtwo. what's really going to win this in terms of Shadow's like moveset? Like what's he got that could like really define his victory here?
Well, ultimately, the haxiest thing he has would be the time stop, which obviously, like in game, it only lasts for like 10 seconds. But if you're looking at him in a versus sense, that's 10 seconds for someone who's moving around everywhere at the speed of light, even faster if it's in super form. So to Shadow, that's like so much time to like do anything, and like if we're assuming like they want to like end the fight as quickly as possible, having the speed advantage and then immediately going with that, like pretty definitive, if you ask me.
Telling Star in chat says, actually, that's a good point. Shadow defeated Silver in Sonic 06 with a boot to the head. Shadow's battled and defeated a powerful psychic before, so he has experience in fighting psychics. Yeah, it's Silver kicked in the face.
It's
no
Silver
problem.
if he was an RPG
It was the funniest.
RPG
it was the
character.
funniest cutscene.
I
love
legendary.
that cutscene so much for that game.
Now, did you see that they did like the Sonic Channel recently did like a top 10 Shadow moments, and I think that ranked like third.
Oh my
Oh,
god!
I
Like,
love it.
Third
Silver's
greatest
my
Shadow
favorite
moment
character.
of all
That's so
time.
rude, but so funny.
It has
Yeah.
to be. It has to be on the single digit best Shadow
yeah.
moments.
You guys
Well,
can't
okay.
see it right now, but Jacob does have Silver for his Discord avatar.
Yeah,
There you
I
go.
got
There you go.
That's
Well,
true.
okay, so let's get that argument for Mewtwo, and then I have a question I need to ask. So, counter for Mewtwo.
Okay,
Jake?
so two things to counter the chaos control. Mewtwo has a bunch of like barriers that are always set up at all times. They're just very passive. And second, when it comes to counter chaos control, he has the move Recover. This regenerates cells, so it's kind of a form of regeneration for him. And in the Mewtwo drama CD, which takes place before the first movie, they kill Mewtwo and he resurrects from the dead using it passively. Like they just try to kill. They try to terminate him, and then he just revives. But my second,
how do they terminate him? How do they kill him?
How does he revive?
They try to
wait.
shoot him
With a gun? Wait,
Yeah,
so
so
a gun can
the
kill
gun
you.
can't kill him. I've been waiting for this moment.
But only temporarily.
Only temporarily.
Okay.
And then the second thing I wanted to mention too, that would be like a really big win con. Let me preface this by saying that for Pokemon, there's a bunch of wild Pokemon that have like unnatural moves. Some people might be like, "Oh, that's only a TM from Mewtwo or whatever." He's the smartest Pokemon. He can learn TMs. He knows the move called Magic Room. This move disables all use of items. So for Shadow, no air shoes, no Chaos Emeralds. Those might be the two biggest ones you might think. My favorite part about this is that it would get rid of his inhibitor rings. Now you might be thinking, oh, this is good for Shadow because at least he gets to be at his strong by having them out. One, well, he tires out more quickly, which stacks on with pressure, the Havoc Robe, Shadow Synergy Stone, all that. But in Shadow Generations, Gerald Robotnik makes a statement about these inhibitor rings. He says, let me find the exact quote too. This is in relation to Shadow with his Doom powers that he has, which Kian mentioned at the very beginning of this as something he has.
I did. Yeah.
Let me find it. Oh, I'll read it quote for quote. I fashioned those limiter rings to keep your power in check. Given how you are now, you must not remove them. You would likely explode. So if he uses Magic Room, not only is he disabling all this, but Shadow's limiter rings would not be active, and he would die.
Okay, we've seen him take off the
Yeah,
rings
he's-
before, and he doesn't
now
just
with the Doom
instantly
powers-
explode.
Not with the Doom powers, though. That's what this is in relation to. With the Doom powers, he would literally explode if he took the rings off.
Doesn't he take them off? Like, I mean, if we assume that Shadow Generations is happening concurrently, then like, doesn't he take them off in forces? Am I making that up?
I
thought
don't
that
know
he
if that's
did in,
true,
like,
but it's also
Final.
implied that he might have lost the Doom powers at the end of the game.
Is
And he
it?
also-
So that would fix any contradiction for that.
But also in the quote
Okay.
too, as you are now, like it's so you could maybe Shadows
Like
learn-
he's inexperienced or
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah,
I
or
took as
something
you
he
are
hasn't learned or gained yet. Yeah.
I took
Yeah.
as you are now as in he has the Doom power.
Mm.
Because the whole plot premise of the game is that he's getting these Doom powers. And this is at the very end of the game when has like the wings too, I think, when Gerald says this. Right before he's about to fight Black Doom. So yeah, setting up this awesome room is gonna cause him to explode. and
Does
die.
that
And
I
since
was gonna
Mewtwo has his
wait.
own time stop and is faster,
Maybe.
based
So
on the Necrozma, he can just
can
get it off.
w- w-
Oh,
so
yeah.
for one thing, we're talking about that's a power that affects held items in Pokemon, right? Which is a
Yeah.
single item. Do we know that it affects multiple items at once?
Yeah, I
So
was
what about the
gonna
magic spell determines
oh.
what is and is not an item?
Yeah, because I was
Well, if you
gonna
want
Who
say,
the
decides
Jacob,
that?
Jacob, I was gonna I assume that this what generation was Magic Room brought in? Was that the recent one?
I
'Cause
think
don't
that was
recognize
Gen
new.
4 is when it first
Is that
debuted.
is that
It's
Gen
a
4?
TM
I
in
do
Gen 8 that Mewtwo can learn.
I'm seeing Gen 5.
Or Gen
Gen
5
5? Okay.
is around there.
Okay, because
Oh
you can
yeah.
feel free
Well,
to
and
correct me
and,
here,
and chat
but
says, does it work on Mega Stones? I don't think it does, right?
that's
And
exactly what I was gonna ask about. Because I know like Mega Scones. What am I talking about?
Scones.
Mega
Mega
Stones.
yeah, Mega Stones can't be taken by things like Thief and all that. So, like, how does that work then?
Well,
'Cause
I feel like at the end of the day, that would just be a game mechanic. Because like, what about a Mega Stone prevents it from being taken by someone like realistically like that? But also in Pokemon, there are gem items that are powered by the elemental type energy, which includes like Earth and stuff. And I already mentioned the Unleashed stuff. So
Yeah,
like,
the
and
ones from
Morton in chat mentions that it does disable multiple items in double battles, including the item that the character themselves is holding.
Mhm.
Also, a lot of people now really
oh,
want
like
to taste the
Embargo.
Mega Scones. Um, so it does affect multiple items. I do wonder if an item needs to be like a certain level of like power to maybe counter that, which I would argue the Chaos Emeralds probably would, but yeah, I think that makes some sense. I do have a big question though,
Mhm.
that I think is going to be really important to deciding who wins. Nick, how the hell are you processing all this? Like, where are you sitting here?
Yeah.
I'm going back and forth. Like I'm like, well, this counters this, but that counters by this, and that's counters that. So I will say, okay, one question that I wanted to ask earlier for some clarity. When it comes to Mewtwo's moves like Trick Room, Magic Room, and the like, surely there has to be some like spatial component to that, right? Because like if for example, if Mewtwo uses Trick Room, does it just invert the speed stats for every being in the universe, or is it just localized to one area? You know what I mean?
It does only apply
Yeah.
to one area, but it's a pretty big area where they would be like a reasonable sized battlefield where they would be fighting.
Okay.
Gotcha. Because it's
Yeah,
a room.
'cause this
I
can
mean,
affect
It's a
like
room.
Yeah.
yeah, because
Yeah,
this, for example, in like the Dynamax stuff, you can use Trick Room in there, and it fits the entirety of the giant Pokemon and affects them, for example.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Super quick question.
so
I'll say there's been a ton of super chat supports. So thank you guys all. We can't read them all out, but we've read them. And then also Gelatin Man, Kinjarex, and Keep Talking all gifted out 5 memberships each. So thank y'all. If you're a champion,
Amazing.
check out our champion stuff.
awesome.
Amazing. Now we do have something to show off regarding the upcoming episode. I've seen a lot of people asking to see the sneak peek for our Mad Scientist versus Turtle fight that's coming up. But before we get to it, we're about to show it.
Are you
We're about to
pleased
show it.
with yourself today?
but-
I'm a little proud of you, to be honest.
But before we get to that, there's another turtle we need to talk about, right, Chad?
That's right, and that's the one on the beach and on your ears. 'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the house, not a gamer was stirring, because they were dialed in wearing their brand new Turtle Beach gaming headset. That's right, this show is sponsored by Turtle Beach. Look, I've been gaming my whole life. I'm sure a lot of you have. And Turtle Beach has been a brand I've always known I could rely on. I showed off. I don't know if you guys saw. I'll get them out here in a second. Turtle Beach is my first pair of gaming headset. They still work, and you should see them. They look like they've been through war. But anyway, Turtle Beach's Gen 3 Stealth 700 headset is the best gaming gift of the year. With this new headset, you stop sounding like you're underwater and become the MVP this holiday with crystal clear sound, maximum comfort, and the ability to hear every little detail in game. That's a much better gift to find under the tree than socks in a mug, right? So, whether you're treating yourself or looking for the perfect gift, now's the time to grab the next best thing in gaming headsets. The Stealth 700 headset is super comfortable. Plus, it has the first ever dual wireless transmitter system. That means you can seamlessly switch between your gaming consoles and your PC. which is something that I very much appreciate, with just a click of a button. And even better, while connected to your console, the Stealth 700 can also connect to your phone at the same time. You guys know I love my audiobooks, so I get to listen to my audiobooks while also, destroying people online. So it turns out this is the ultimate headset for both gaming and multitasking. And if you're not looking for a headset right now, Turtle Beach has every other gaming accessory you could think of. So check those out. Get the ultimate immersive gaming experience with Turtle Beach today. For a limited time only, head to turtlebeach.com and use code DBC for 10% off your entire order. That's 10% off your order at turtlebeach.com with promo code DBC. Don't delay. Get the perfect gift now. Thank you, Turtle Beach. I'm going to show you my ancient ones.
Just because we are sponsored by Turtle Beach does not necessarily mean the turtle is about to win, but it probably doesn't, hurt. No. What are you grabbing? Oh, you're grabbing your
my ancient Turtle Beach.
Wow. Okay.
Dude,
Wow.
this thing, it still
It
works.
looks like it kind
So
of
that's
looks
not,
like
to
those
clarify, that's
headphones.
not the new one.
No.
of course
New one looks
You've
like
had that
this.
for like 20 years or something like that, right?
Yeah,
Like
this
it's been
one's
around for a
ancient.
while.
Yeah.
I don't know how, but that looks like 2010.
Probably.
I think it is. It's the Ear Force X1.
Like if I looked up the
Stealth
definition of
700.
2010, I would see that as an example image.
Turtle Beach is like defining the gamer look for back then. So yeah,
man.
I mean, I don't doubt it. Okay. You guys have been waiting. I know everybody in chat's waiting to see this. So we'll get to the vote for Shadow versus Mewtwo in just a little bit. So don't leave. Don't leave just because you get to watch this. We got to get to this vote as well. But let's check out the sneak peek for this weekend's episode, Bowser versus Eggman. Let's go.
I am Dr. Eggman, your new genius overlord. What a joke! Showtime!
Dang, that looks cool.
Yeah.
I'm hyped. So, yeah. I mean, we've had a lot of people, a lot of the staff, kind of hyping this up on social media and whatnot. So I don't necessarily want to overhype this episode. Maybe one of the best episodes we've ever made. So we are launching this weekend, this Sunday. You guys will see Bowser versus Eggman. This has been a passion project for a lot of people on the team. The animation is primarily led by Moro, who you might have seen on YouTube. Moro's got a YouTube channel, does some incredible work. So go check him out. And it is a full-on army battle, as you have seen in the sneak peek. Yeah, it goes wild. We'll talk about it a lot
you guys
more.
for topping yourselves all the time and doing a full-blown army battle. That is insane. That is absolutely
Last
nuts.
time we did an army battle, Ben fell asleep on his desk.
Yeah, I remember.
This time during an army battle, I've seen DJ almost fall asleep on his desk.
A lot of people have been putting a lot of hard work and passion into it, and we really appreciate everybody's in the teams, their dedication to this episode. I think that passion is going to be really apparent when you guys watch the episode.
Dude, like even people who aren't officially assigned to this episode, like you guys would have seen it in like the previews, like Luis and Origin, like animated things for the rundown. Like Jacob and I have been in like voice calls with DJ. Like we didn't research this one, but DJ's like, I need footage for this, and we're like typing all over like the Sonic wikis and Mario wikis to like find him what he needs. Like we are all so into this one.
People are showing up to help. It's great.
Yeah, and then the amount of times like DJ's like, "Oh, can we go back and do this too to make it even cooler?" Like that wasn't like a necessary change. It was like, can we just make it even cooler? It's been So yeah, we'll see.
Very excited. So again, there's so much to talk about it, but we will save that for after the episode actually airs, because I don't want to spoil anything. You guys are gonna enjoy it. You guys are gonna enjoy it. All right, so let's get to this. Let's get to this vote for Shadow versus Mewtwo. Before we vote, we're gonna do some like final statements and whatnot. But Chad, did you want to ask something?
Yeah, I got some. So I got some thoughts. Well, first of all, one thing I wanted to point out was Necroyo in the chat says, "Fun fact: Trick Room has an upper limit. If a Pokemon is fast enough, then Trick Room stops having an effect on it."
That's a game
really?
glitch. That doesn't count.
That's a game
Oh,
glitch.
That's
It's
not
a
so- it's
glitch,
because-
but it
it's because-
happens.
I'm not
Yeah,
dealing with
are you gonna
this.
tell him to sing though? Is it real? Like
Yes,
the-
he's not
the other-
real.
The other thing that I saw
I
brought
saw
up
him.
was people talking about how like Sonic and I think Shadow at one point like they've moved during time stops before because they're so fast. So
Have they?
that's an interesting thing because
Well, then that by definition, that's not a time stop though. That's just a time make very,
They-
very slow.
They also both have control over chaos energies, so that might be more so like they're tapping into chaos control to anti-chaos control kind of thing. And we'll show the sneak peek again at the end of the show if you guys want to see it again or missed it. So stay tuned for that. Okay, I mean, with all that in mind, final statements, final arguments for Shadow and Mewtwo. Let's start with Mewtwo. What's one thing that we all really need to keep in mind is why he's going to win, or something that you haven't mentioned that you think is really important?
Well, everything Keen has mentioned so far, Mewtwo has that same ability. We've talked about Mewtwo having a time stop, and he also has a move called Me First if he really just wants to, use Shadow's moves first. And the move does it at like an enhanced potency, so he can always use Shadow's moves much better than he could in.
But it's
potential
random, right?
situations. No, it's the last. It's the move Shadow's just about to do.
Okay.
He'd use his gun like a
Psychic gun. You've heard of a psychic spoon. Now here's a psychic gun. Yeah, but then beyond that, like Mewtwo could wipe his memory or control his mind if he really wants to. There's some debate with Black Doom, but like it seems like Black Doom only affects certain parts of the brain, and Shadow was still affected for a bit anyway. And Mewtwo's is more effective than Black Doom's based on all the information because Mewtwo's affected multiple people.
Turquoise Siren mentions in chat, are most of Mewtwo's moves TMs? I think we have mentioned a few TMs. Now, you mentioned earlier that like Mewtwo's really smart. He should theoretically be able to use TMs on himself.
Yeah, there's wild Pokemon.
To be fair, I think that largely comes down to how you, viewer, interpret the fight. Like, do you think Mewtwo should only get his naturally learned moves, or are TMs, too far outside?
Any examples in canon of a wild Pokemon using a TM move?
Yes, besides Mewtwo, who's done it plenty of times when he's considered a wild Pokemon. In Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, you can use DexNav to find Pokemon with non-level up moves. And in Pokemon Go, which is canon, by the way, there's characters who interact with each other. Pokemon
Go's
Go,
canon?
I literally caught a Sunkern yesterday that had Cut and Energy Ball. I cannot learn that besides TMs.
All right, that's fair.
But what if
What if
it's a
they're- what if they're
Pokemon that
abandoned
was
Pokemon?
captured? Yeah. Yeah.
He's released in the wild.
Well, I think that proves my point even more because then they're all wild Pokemon still considered. Then they just pollute the world with
Sure.
all
But
these
there's only
moves.
one. You can't pollute the world with Mewtwo. I guess there are multiple Mewtwo's
There are
somehow.
multiple Mewtwo's.
Doesn't make any sense. Whatever. Okay. Final thing for Shadow.
He's the coolest. He's cool. No.
Man, how do you
I'm
counter
beat.
that?
No, dude,
Okay.
I suck at closing arguments like this just because I bring up everything I want to prior. This has happened to me every single cast. I need to like save stuff for the end.
No, but I mean, like, you've
what's
already
the
mentioned
way-
what you want, but what's one that you really want to double down on? Like, keep this in mind. You may have forgotten.
Oh.
I said blank.
I don't know. I'm just
He
gonna
has a
go back
gun.
to
He has a
he does have a gun. He does have a gun. We'll
Recover
stick
it.
with that.
I mean, speed. Like he's got this. I mean, Trick Room's.
It's going to be hard, I think, for Mewtwo to counter Shadow's speed and time stop, general chaos control elements. He's got
Also,
moves that can specifically counter, but Mewtwo also has to like understand that that's what he's coming up against in order to use those moves, right? So he's got to learn how Shadow
Jacob,
works before he knows
Thankfully, he
which
can see
moves.
the future or read
As
his
far
mind.
as I will say, Jacob, as far as Magic Room goes, if it's still like an affected area, even if the items don't work, can't Shadow just like chaos control teleport out of the room and then he can use them again?
Well, if this affects the Chaos Emeralds, which considering it works on other energy gems in Pokemon,
He doesn't need the Chaos Emeralds to use chaos control. He just does it.
Well,
Shadow's
before he
able to
can
access
do
it
that,
without
his
it.
limiter rings will deactivate and he will explode because he has his Doom powers.
Does that happen?
I
in
really
Melee?
don't think he's
Is
gonna
that what he meant?
explode. I don't buy
Gerald's
that.
the one saying this.
I don't
Gerald knows what's
buy
up.
Would Mewtwo even know to do that? Like, or would his telepathy just kind of instantaneously
I
read
don't-
all the information on Shadow's brain, and now he knows everything about Shadow. And
Also, what if he goes Super Shadow? Would he still explode like Super Shadow? Is invincible and can control that kind of stuff? I don't know.
My point was like he has many ways to drain the emeralds too. I mentioned like the Shadow Synergy Stone and all of that, or just if even in the worst case scenario where Magic Room doesn't work on the emeralds, it's like, all right, Shadow Synergy Stone that drains it. Pressure, if it's base Mewtwo, drains him. The Havoc Robe drain Super Shadow out of his super form. And considering it's only Super Shadow that has the stats, the speed and the attack prowess to handle even base Mewtwo based on like Team Rainbow Rocket.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
he does beat Black Doom in the new game without the super form, I think. So like at
That
least
is
to some it is with the Doom powers, yeah, but at least like to some extent you could argue that like he's like he can match like what like he used to be able to do in like the super form back in like 05 days.
That is
Real
true.
quick, Kian, we've mentioned the Doom powers a few different times. Can you just kind of do a very quick run through of what the Doom powers actually are before we jump into this poll?
Yeah. Oh no. Am I
You're
back?
good. You're good.
Are we using?
Uh-oh,
Okay,
connection.
cool.
Mewtwo saw the future and suppressed him with
Oh.
Magic Room.
No, the Doom powers they're mostly a mobility thing. So he gets like wings for flying, and he gets like the Doom Surf, is it called, where he can like move along water, kind of surf like. But he does also get Doom Blast, which is like another Chaos Spear type of attack. They're mostly for mobility moves, but he does get some attacks out of them.
Okay. Which means he'll have more options for getting to Mewtwo even faster to kill him. Okay. So,
Yeah.
all right, we're going to get the poll up. It sounds like I'm seeing a lot of people in chat with a lot of different arguments. So there's a lot of you who have some very, obviously there's no way we could cover absolutely everything about this match in a single Death Metal cast. It's very clear why a lot of you want to see this as another episode, another rematch in the future.
Absolutely.
Definitely curious how you guys are definitely interested in exploring this, in the future more at some point. So we will get the poll up. Right. Well, I say that.
Thank you
then
all so
you
much
two.
for all the love and
There we
support
go.
with the super chats and just for being here. We appreciate it. So we couldn't read all of them. We had a lot to cover, but they were read.
Yes.
We just couldn't read them out. So
Yes, and yeah, I think it is important, as many people have pointed out with super chats. Shadow does still have chaos abilities without the Chaos Emeralds, so he could not the full range of his abilities, but still
what's so
plenty
interesting
of chaos
about this
powers.
is I keep seeing, but then I'm watching like chat counter each other because people are like, well, he
Yeah.
can still teleport without that. It's like, well, Mewtwo could just use prison on him and then he couldn't teleport or whatever. It's like,
Well, Chad,
like
Chad,
with
while the
incalculable
vote-
abilities.
while the vote is
RPG.
coming in, Chad, who are you leaning towards?
I am so torn. I think Jacob did an amazing job bringing up so many like counters and conditions and things that Mewtwo could do. But I think like if my gut would just be that Shadow would blitz him, but it's hard. I actually, this right here is one of these cast episodes that has rekindled my interest in doing a matchup. I was like, I really want to do this in today's day and age. I guess I'll say I'm leaning a little bit Shadow, but you did a really good job, Jacob.
Jacob, I think you've convinced me. I went into this thinking Shadow. There's no way Mewtwo's got this. Shadow's probably got this right. But I'm leaning more towards Mewtwo. I think. I think Mewtwo's just got the arsenal to take this on. So I think I'm leaning towards Mewtwo. What about you, Nick? What are you thinking?
When this episode started, I was gonna be like, just Shadow no matter what, because the mental image of him just shooting Mewtwo with a gun is funny to me. And it's still
Apparently that
hilarious.
happens in Pokemon.
Yeah,
Since
but
when do they
like-
shoot Pokemon
I
with
don't
guns?
know.
in
I don't know.
I mean, there was a
Like,
banned episode in Japan where
They had a gun. They didn't shoot a Pokemon with a gun in the
you're right, they
banned
tried to shoot
episode.
Team Rocket.
There was Pokemon gun version.
Oh my god. Okay.
Oh my
Anyway.
With this
So I was gonna just as the joke entry say Shadow on the grounds that just capping him in the face with a pistol is hilarious. But I don't know. Like I said, it's just this weird chicken and egg situation where it's like one thing counters this thing, but that could be countered by that, but this could be countered by that, could be countered by that, and it's just this like layer upon layer upon layer upon layer upon layer. If I have to go with a gut feeling, and I am so torn. You got to understand, I'm so torn. I am kind of leaning a bit more toward Mewtwo, just because there's the various trick room, magic room, things like that. We want to hold up the sign, Jacob. Thank you. All right.
He's
Yeah,
about
that.
to explode.
He's about to.
Shadow learned self-destruct.
Oh, all right.
It's just a gut feeling. I could be wrong because I could see it both ways. You guys both did a really great job, admirable job of presenting each character, and there's a lot to think about, more than I'm getting paid to, which is nothing right now. So this is your guys' problem, not mine.
Thank you. Okay, as the votes are coming in, we're at almost 1,000 votes. So wow, thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll get to that in just a second. I did want to do a quick little announcement thing. So first of all, we are going to re-show the sneak peek in just a little bit as well. But before we get to the vote result, I want to mention something that is going to kind of come up later on down the line for the Death Battle YouTube channel and whatnot. I'll try to keep this brief. But when in the unknown times, right before we were able to announce that we or before we got Death Battle, before myself, Chad, Austin, and Sam owned Death Battle, after Rooster Teeth was shut down, there was a point when we found out that the music would have to be taken down from streaming platforms like YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, etc. And when we found out about that, we knew that we should let you guys know. So we made social media posts about it. The music was taken down temporarily, but since getting Death Battle, since now owning Death Battle, we have re-uploaded it all and made sure that all of it is back on the streaming platforms as they should be.
Big shout out to Sam.
Yes, Sam is really taking that on. So, however, during that time, in the in-between time, after the announcement, a lot of people sort of downloaded a lot of the music and re-uploaded it as with the intention of archiving it, right? And this is not necessarily like saying that that's necessarily bad, because a lot of people came into this with good intentions. There are a lot of re-uploads of the tracks in an attempt to archive it after it was announced that they were going down. However, now that we have all the officially released tracks out there, these archived, extra tracks are also out there, and it's kind of getting confusing for a lot of people. So I just want to basically say, hey, if you uploaded a music track somewhere with the intent to archive it, please remove it. We don't necessarily want to go through like striking all that stuff, because I really do believe a lot of this is done with good intentions. But we are kind of running into this situation where now people can't find the official release. And this actually kind of negatively impacts the artist, because we do actually have a revenue share with the artist. Anytime you go to an official release of a Death Battle music, it benefits the artist who made it. But if you go to, something posted by somebody else, it obviously does not. So we don't exactly have a timeline for this, but we would really appreciate if anybody who uploaded those can take them down relatively soon. Again, we do appreciate the thought. Absolutely. It blows my mind that we're in a place where that happens, and people legitimately are so like concerned about the preservation of it that they will do this. And that means the world to me. And I know it means the world to the artists as well. So we are really appreciative of you guys really being connected to this in that way. So thank you for all the support and the help. Just if you could take those down, we'd appreciate it.
Yeah, it's all the more important now that you guys are independent.
Thank you.
Everything that you said would still stand, whether this was under Rooster Teeth or whatever other company, but it's extra important with the show being independent now. So
for sure. Yeah, for sure. And again, the official releases do support the artists who make it. So and we it's very important to us that the people who make what we are showing get the support and the everything they can from those releases. So anyway, thank you all again for understanding, and we really appreciate y'all.
Yeah, and super quick, Ben, do we have a fireside tomorrow? I think we do. It's on the calendar, but we haven't talked about it, so I don't know if we're doing it.
I guess we do. Hey, surprise!
Join us
yeah.
tomorrow at 5
Remember-
Central for our fireside chat for our champions.
Yeah, I guess that's happening. I forgot about that, I guess. Thank you all so much for understanding. And yes, members, we will have our fireside chat, our members exclusive fireside chat on the YouTube channel tomorrow evening.
5
All
p.m.
right.
Central.
Yes. Yeah, if you're not familiar with the fireside chats, basically it's a time for any members of the channel, champions, to join in another live stream, kind of similar to Death Metal Cast, but this one's all about you guys and us hanging out with you. So we want to hang out with you guys. I see all these amazing badges going up the chat, and I want to hang out with each and every one of you in fireside chat tomorrow. Okay, so with all that being said, we have a verdict with over 1,200 votes. The winner of Mewtwo versus Shadow is Shadow the Hedgehog.
Take-
63% of the votes.
Got that
Yeah.
SEO advantage. The movie coming
It's
out.
like I came in swinging.
Wow.
He would
okay.
explode.
In
died!
popularity. In
He's throwing
popularity.
ashes to the wind.
Oh my god. Okay. So Shadow has won the Death Metal Cast. Yeah, but if we actually do this rematch, we'll see if that, remains to be seen. Thank you all so much for tuning in to this week's episode of Cast. Hey, Jacob and Kian, great job repping your characters. Thank you for jumping in.
Jacob, should I? No, I will say this for after we're done. Call. I will say
You're
this. for
lucky
after we're
there's a
done.
Shadow movie coming up.
Yeah.
Well, and we also have our champion cast, which we will record after this for champions. Speaking of fireside chat and champion exclusive stuff, we have a champion cast. We record a little post show for champions specifically. So maybe we'll have something special to say there. And also thank you, Nick, for just randomly appearing, just like a Pokemon
Maybe
random
it'll happen
encounter.
again one of these days. We'll have to see.
A wild Nick appeared. Yeah.
Wild Nick appear. Yeah, thank you so much for having me on. It's always a tremendous pleasure to see you guys, talk with you guys, and that includes you guys, the community as well. So thank you so much for everything. It always feels like coming home to do this kind of thing again. So I'll see you guys at some point in the hopefully not too distant future.
Nick,
Oh, yeah,
shamelessly
yeah.
promote your Twitch.
The Twitch that I haven't had the energy to stream on in months. Yeah, go to twitch.tv/nervousnick and you'll catch me playing something there sometime. I play Sea of Thieves. I play Killer Instinct. Those are two of the games that I play more than just about any other. I've been on a really big KI kick in private lately, and it's only a matter of time before I take that to the stream as well. So I would love to see you guys there. And
Go give him a follow.
Yeah, give me a follow. It'll stroke the ego or something, I guess. We'll see.
Yes.
We'll see.
that's
We'll
what
see if I
think of when
actually
think of
actually
Nick.
stream there in the near future. But
Now you
it-
have to.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was
no,
like, it's a
do.
good
Now,
excuse now.
I can't disappoint you guys. I don't want to disappoint you. So yeah, go ahead and meet up with the follow there, or Twitter and Blue Sky. I'm on there as well. Same username @NervousNick. So hit me up wherever, and I'll see you there.
All right. Thank you guys so much. And we will end this by showing off that sneak peek one more time, edited by DJ, of course, featuring animation from Moro for the upcoming episode, Bowser vs. Eggman, that we are premiering this weekend. This Sunday, noon Central Time Sunday. Get ready. It's going to be a live premiere with the whole chat room and everything. So if you want to be part of that live premiere, join us Sunday at noon for the epic debut of Bowser versus Eggman. Thank you all so much for joining us. We'll see you next week. Let's go ahead and show off that sneak peek one more time.
Falling down like time is running out. I'm buried in my head and drowning, and I can't get out. I can't get out. I am Dr. Eggman, your new genius overlord. What a joke! Showtime!